You got your car back from the shop, but even after repairs, your car is still worth thousands of dollars less than before the crash. The other driver's insurance company isn't offering you a dime to pay for that lost value, and you're not even sure if you're allowed to ask. But in Texas, you are. And I've helped many of my injury clients recover money for diminished value from insurance adjusters who tell them they don't even have a case. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how a diminished value claim works and what it takes to get paid. This way, you don't leave any money on the table, even when the repairs make your car look good on the outside. What is a diminished value claim in Texas? Let's get right to it. If you're watching this video, you've probably been involved in a car accident that wasn't your fault. The insurance company might be covering the repairs, or maybe you've already gotten your car back from the shop, but you know that in your heart, something doesn't feel right and you don't feel like this is the end of the road. That's because even though your car looks fixed, it's worth a lot less than before the accident. This loss in value is called a diminished value, and in Texas, you have the right to pursue a claim against the at-fault driver's insurance company for the value of what was lost to your car. Think about it. If you tried to sell your car today, would you get the exact same price that you would if the car hadn't been involved in a car accident? Certainly not. When the buyer sees that the car's been in an accident, when they see that on the Carfax report, they're going to be offering you a lot less. And that difference is real money out of your pocket. And that is what a diminished value claim is all about. The price for what was taken from your car because now it's been in an accident and it's worth less. Why diminished value matters in Texas. Texas law recognizes diminished value. The courts here understand that a car that has been in a wreck is not worth the same that a car that has never been in any accident. This is especially true if the car was a newer model or had very low mileage. So if your car's been in a wreck that wasn't your fault, the other driver's insurance company has to pay you not just for the repairs, but for the lost resale value of the car. Let me give you a real-world example. I had a client here in Houston who had a 2-year-old Toyota Camry with very low miles. He was rear-ended when he was waiting at a stoplight, and the other driver's insurance paid for all of the repairs. When my client went to sell his car later, the dealer saw that it was in a wreck, and as a result, it dropped the sale price by $4,000. That's what makes a diminished value claim so important. Who can make a diminished value claim? This is where people get confused, so let's clear that up. In Texas, you can only make a diminished value claim against the insurance company of the driver who is at fault for the accident. If you were at fault for the accident, or you're dealing with your own insurance company in collision coverage, you're probably out of luck. Most policies do not cover diminished value from your end. You also need to be the car's owner, and the car has to already have been repaired. If your car was a total loss, or the insurance company tells you that they're totaling out the car, you cannot also bring a diminished value claim because you've already been paid the full value of the car. There's one more thing: timing. The sooner you file, the better you are. Texas has a 2-year statute of limitations for property damage claims, but you shouldn't wait. The longer you wait, the harder it is to prove the loss of your car's value. How does the insurance company calculate diminished value? Here is where things get tricky and a reason why clients call me all the time. There's no original formula in Texas law for diminished value. Most insurance companies use a formula that's called 17C. This is a formula that was created by insurance companies, namely State Farm, and it's designed to give you as little money as possible for your diminished value claim. This formula basically takes a percentage of your car's pre-crash value, usually it's about 10%, and then further reduces it depending on how many miles your car had, as well as how bad the property damage supposedly was. But that's not the end of the story. The true value for diminished value is the difference between what a buyer would pay if your car was never in a wreck versus what a buyer would pay now. I often recommend to my clients to get multiple offers from reputable dealers as well as used car salesmen to determine the true value for the car. You can then take those evaluations and compare that to the Kelley Blue Book value to see the differences in your car valuation. In some cases, especially when the car is worth a lot of money, you might need a professional diminished value appraisal. These appraisals can cost usually a few $100s, but they can save you thousands of dollars from the insurance company. The steps to file a diminished value claim in Texas. Let me walk you through exactly what you need to do. First, get your car fully repaired by a trusted, certified auto body shop. Keep all of your repair records. Remember, you're not eligible for a diminished value claim until all of the repairs are done. And you also need to be able to prove what exactly was fixed and when. Number 2, document everything. Take photos of the damage before and after the repairs. Save every receipt. Save every email from the insurance company or the auto body shop. This is your evidence. The more detailed you are, the better and stronger your claim is. If you have any conversations over the phone, it's a good idea to memorialize that in an email, confirming with both sides of what you talked about orally. Look up your car's value before the accident. I like to use Kelley Blue Book or maybe the NADA guidelines. Then compare it to the similar cars out there. The same year, the same mileage, no accidents, and see what they're selling it for. Next, check the price for cars that do have an accident history. The difference is your starting point for your diminished value claim. 4, request a diminished value appraisal. If you want to go the extra mile, hire a professional appraiser. They will prepare a report showing exactly how much your car's value decreased. Some dealerships even provide written trade-in offers that you can use as evidence against the insurance company. 5, file your claim with the at-fault driver's insurance company. Contact the other driver's insurance company and tell them that you'd like to make a diminished value claim. Give them all of your documentation, your repair records, the appraiser's report if you have one, the photographs that you took, and any offers that you've gotten on your car. You can include the Kelley Blue Book value or any other evidence that you've collected. Be clear and be persistent. They might try to offer you a small amount at first. Don't accept the first offer unless you're sure it's fair. 6, negotiate firmly but professionally. Most insurance companies will lowball you. It's their job to pay out as little as possible on the claim. Don't be afraid to push back. Use all of the evidence that you have, including the appraisal if you have one. If you feel overwhelmed, you can contact a diminished value attorney to help you through the process. Now, I usually don't recommend hiring an attorney for a diminished value case unless the car is worth a lot of money. What I focus on is personal injuries, but I help advise my clients on how to negotiate their own diminished value case. That way, you can get some extra money out of the insurance company and you don't have to pay anything in attorney's fees. But as an injury lawyer, I'm very familiar with the tactics that insurance companies use to try to pay you as little money as possible. Just like in an injury case, the first offer is usually not the best offer. Keep pushing, be persistent until you get their top offer. 7, settle or take further action. If you can't reach a fair agreement, you might have to take the next steps, which is filing a claim with the Texas Department of Insurance or making a small claims case against the insurance company. However, most claims do settle before they ever get to that point. What kind of cars qualify for diminished value claims? Not every car has a huge diminished value claim. If you're driving a 15-year-old car with 250,000 miles on it, the value is not going to drop that much after it's been in a wreck. But let's say that your car is a newer car, under 5 years old, and has very low mileage, or it's a luxury vehicle or something very expensive, the diminished value can be a huge hit. Let me give you another example. I had a client down in Sugar Land with a 1-year-old Ford F-150. While he was driving on 59, he got sideswiped from a driver who wasn't paying attention. The repairs only cost him $12,000, but the car was worth, before the wreck, $50,000. After the wreck, it was only worth $42,000. Even though the truck still looked great and was only a year old, nobody wanted to buy that truck that had had an accident in its history. That's an $8,000 claim for diminished value, and he was able to get that money from the insurance company with our help. This is money that he would have left on the table had he not known about the diminished value loss for many of these accident cases, common obstacles, and how to beat them. Let's be real. The insurance company doesn't like paying these claims. They want to make sure you get as little money as possible. They might say things to you like, well, the repairs were done on your car, so your car is basically as good as new. This is not true. Accidents always matter when it comes to selling your car. They might say things like, Texas actually doesn't allow for diminished value claims. This is 100% fault and honestly, bad faith by the insurance company. They also might say, you have to use their formula. This is also 100% not true. That's what they use, but you can use other evidence to prove the diminished value for your car. Don't let them intimidate you. If you have paperwork and you have evidence, use it to your advantage. Argue in your favor. Don't settle for less when getting an attorney makes a difference. Handling all this on your own can be overwhelming, especially when you're dealing with a big insurance company that's hoping that you'll give up. Here's where an attorney can help. Attorneys know how to properly value your claim and what kind of evidence they need to make the proper arguments. They know how to negotiate aggressively with the insurance company. Also, if the insurance company doesn't play fair, attorneys can help by escalating the situation, either with a small claims case or by filing a full-on lawsuit against the insurance company. Most importantly, it can feel like a relief to give all these problems to the attorney so that the attorney can handle it while you focus on your life. In many cases, the attorneys will take a percentage of your diminished value claim as their attorney's fees. A lot of the time, you can negotiate your own diminished value claim without an attorney to maximize the money that you get for your claim. Attorneys are particularly recommended when it comes to high value cars. Anything that's above $50,000 or $100,000, it might be better to hire an attorney for that diminished value claim. What happens if the insurance company won't pay? If you've done everything right and the insurance company still won't pay the proper value for your diminished value claim, you still have options. If you really feel like the insurance company is treating you unfairly, you can file a complaint with the Texas Department of Insurance. But more importantly, you can file a small claims court on your own without a lawyer. In small claims court, a lot of people file lawsuits without ever needing a lawyer. But if your car is worth a lot of money, it might be advisable to talk with an attorney first to see if it's the right fit for you. The point is, you don't just have to accept whatever the insurance company offers you. You have rights under Texas law. And with the right support, you can get the full amount for what you deserve. Your next step. You just learned how to protect your wallet after a car accident by filing a diminished value claim. If you want to make sure that you're getting every dollar you deserve, make sure that you don't settle for less. But what if you or someone you love is riding a motorcycle and gets into a crash? The rules for a motorcycle property damage claim are a little different, and the insurance company often plays hardball. That's why you can't afford to miss my next video handling a motorcycle property damage claim. In that video, I'll break down how to recover every penny from the insurance company after a bike wreck, how to avoid the common traps, and how to keep the insurance company honest. Don't leave money on the table. Jump on over to handling a motorcycle property damage claim right over here. I'll see you over there.